What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rockefellers Radio. This is season 4, episode number 20. One more episode, and we'll be wrapping up on season 4. I'm anxious for that, climbing that ladder. The more we do, the better it'll be, and maybe one day I'll be able to get me a little contract for Sirius XM or something like that. You're listening to Porn Star Radio. Oh, God. Joining me today, of course, is my co-host, Mr. Dante Harris.
Wagwan.
See, no extra. I just said your name and let it go.
Oh, yeah. Just
you noticed that, right? You didn't realize that. Yeah. I got to take care of my brother. And then we got a special guest co-host. He joined us on the previous episode of Open Mic, which is Open Mic number 9. He joined us on that one. Mr. Mikael's Race, Rock's Boy's motto, tempero means temporary. He decides to stop doing it again. Yes. He's going to join us today as a special guest co-host.
I'm back.
Holding it down for Miss Naya Monet because she's not able to be here with us. She will be returning for season 5.
Shout out to her.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo. What?
She gonna have a lot of shit to say.
She gonna have a lot of shit to say. Oh my God. We gonna probably need a couple bottles.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna have to be prepared for it. I probably won't get to say much shit.
I'm coming high.
I'm
gonna have to be high.
You're gonna be prepared for the coming and the wrath of Miss Monet.
Oh yeah.
Speak it be. So before we jump into it, today's topic is lying for no reason. And what the fuck, Brandon? So yeah, I'm gonna go into that for you. Deception is a familiar concept to us all, employed various reasons, some of which may be deemed necessary. However, the misuse and abuse of dishonesty, often for inappropriate reasons, has led to generally negative perception of such behavior. This discussion aims to explore the complexities surrounding the ethics of lying. And regarding the recent developments in Chicago, the performance of the newly elected Mayor Brandon Johnson raises concerns, especially for me. Despite the expectations of his electorate, his actions seem to favor those less familiar with his campaign, prompting questions about his priorities and the potential influence of external parties on his administration, especially in addressing the city's pressing issues. And there are a lot. I don't know, man. People from Chicago know, but we'll jump into it eventually. Mr. Dante, what's going on with you? How you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I'm just getting the ball rolling with a lot of the shit I got going on.
Yeah.
Yep. So, the consulting thing and whatnot. I'm just hoping it all works out.
Keeping you busy?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we got our drinks here, Mikael. You got a little concoction.
Yes.
We'll just say that's a blue bitch, not a blue motherfucker, because it's
definitely giving blue bitch.
Blue bitch, yeah. But what we are doing today, because you don't want any wine, so I'm saying me and Dante, you're on this. No, we're not going to toast, motherfucker. I'm going to tell them what it is.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can toast. We can go. I want to hit a glass clink.
I thought Mikael was trying to be funny. Oh, you guys gonna toast because you got wine and I've got a cocktail.
A blue bitch.
Yeah, you got a blue bitch.
Yeah,
we got some classy
we
shit
like
over
blue
here.
Bitches.
Yeah,
I like all color bitches.
Oh,
yes, for the all color.
Yeah. So on that toast,
bottom bitches, top bitches, versatile bitches. No,
this is actually what I said was that some Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And what was it? 19 Crimes. Something like that, and I've never had it before. It's my first time.
That's one of his brands.
Yeah, one. Yeah, let's check it out. So, cheers to the second to last episode of season 4 Rockefellers Radio, and having Mr. Mikael Race join us, and this Naya poured out for my homie.
Not with all this equipment.
She ain't gone, y'all. She just not here right now. I'm gonna taste this real quick. Oh,
so how is it?
It's very becoming.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing.
Okay.
Let's see. Hold on.
Go ahead, Snoop.
Oh, yeah. Bow, wow, wow. Yippee, yo, yippee, yay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think this is my summertime wine.
Yeah, it's got a very unique taste when you first bite and it hits the palate. As the white folks As the white folks say, I felt it when it touched my palate.
I want to know where the crime's at.
And yeah, I tasted like 3 of them.
Maybe it's supposed to come afterwards.
Maybe Diddy had some of this.
We don't want what Diddy has.
Maybe the crime is the hangover afterwards.
Probably.
Because I can taste the fruitiness. It's
Yeah.
very vibrant.
It's the aftertaste too. Is not bad.
Yeah.
It's
So maybe that shit sneaks up on you later. And that's when you commit 19 crimes.
Yeah.
We're going to be getting Diddy charges.
What is going on in the world today? It's like that motherfucker.
He wildin'.
He has wild.
Absolutely crazy.
He's not even wild. He is wild because that happened so many years ago, and then she took a payoff for it.
Right. And speaking of liars,
Yeah.
because he lied all these years about the shit he was doing.
That man, that man there, and then the fact that he paid. Well, again, we all know, like, if you didn't do it, you know what I'm saying, then you didn't do it. But I also get if you're wanting a person to stop talking about it, and it's not true. Okay, I get you paying it, but you want somebody to stop talking about it because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people that pay to get people to just stop talking about it in general, even though it did not happen. Just please stop because you're doing a lot. But this motherfucker said that he didn't do it, but then there's video proof that you did it. You beat this girl ass all up and down that fucking hotel hallway,
that was crazy.
And drug her.
Yeah.
I was just like, wow, he's really kicking that woman.
And
like,
I'm sure that's just a portion of what's going on with that man.
Right, but I want to know what happened. Like, what led to those events?
right. That's the thing. There's always, and not condoning or saying that she deserved it, but it's like, okay, so what transpired before that? Because he chased her ass.
Does it really matter?
It matters. It
Look how big Cassie is compared to Diddy. Does it matter?
It matters for context.
I mean, I get
not,
that, but I mean, again, there's
I'm
no
just nosy.
reason
Yeah,
why that
it's-
man should have put his hands on her.
Well, no, there's
Agreed.
There's no reason. Nobody's justifying that.
Unless she cut his dick off for no reason.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm gonna chase
did she
you, too.
stab him? Did she try to poison him? I don't know. But
I
again,
doubt those things happen. But
yeah, we don't know. We don't know what happened. We can speculate, and assume, but not saying that it's justified. But in any case, just like if somebody committed a murder, you're always going to want to find out why they did what they did. It's not really so much, does it matter? Of course, it matters as far as context, but not going to change the fact that he did what he did.
Go ahead, don't.
I just have an investigative mind. So
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I just feel like, we live in a life, we live in a world where people have disagreements, and whether it struck you a certain type of way, it is what it is. But again, she's a small ass woman.
Right. But my argument is looking, because and it definitely was a crime, but he turned it into a civil matter. In 95% of situations, there's always going to be that point of how did it get to where it was, to understand.
No, I get that.
It's not to justify.
Yeah.
So to establish the understanding, so that when Mikhail knows that he understands that I know what this is, because I dealt in law enforcement for 10 years. I understand domestic violence. I never will sit up and say that if I go to a call and a man beat on a woman, I'm gonna lock you up because you beat her. No, what happened? We need to be able to paint the picture and story, to tell the court exactly what happened, because there could have been other things that transpired prior to that we don't know about, that led up to it. It helps put the story together. Like I said, it creates context. It doesn't excuse anything.
Absolutely.
It paints the whole picture, because right now, all you're seeing and everybody else is a girl getting beat up by somebody. I'm just saying in general. He's beating this girl. Oh, that is wrong. Absolutely, it's wrong.
We also see that she was removing herself from the situation.
Right. Right. Now, stop there. What was the situation?
Whatever the situation
We
was.
don't exactly.
I get
that's
that.
what we want to know. It's
Curious minds.
It's
Curious
one of
minds.
Right, because
Still.
in my mind, right, I'm like, okay, this is a multi-billion-dollar mogul,
Right.
who has his hands in almost as many pots as he got his hands up
Right.
people's asses,
Mhm.
and so I just want to know what possessed him
to do what he did.
Is that he left
So
his
basically, y'all nosy.
yes.
I wouldn't say no.
If you want to simplify
No,
it like
like-
that, I'm gonna say I'm nosy.
I'm not pampering the shit. I'm not being nosy. It's my mind is always still. It's in that program, right? Because if you did something, and sometimes that's a problem because people get involved in even just and not in that situation, but people get involved in certain situations, and like let's say they give their 2 cents on a subject or topic, and they say, okay, well, yeah, you shouldn't have done it, but you don't even know what the fuck happened.
No,
So
I agree with you on
how
that,
are
yeah.
you going to be like, oh, that was wrong when you don't even know how we got here? Even though it's still wrong, but you don't know why did you kick his ass? You know what I'm saying? If you're in the right for kicking his ass, why'd you do it? It don't matter what. Yeah, it does.
I guess I'm just looking at it like
The girl.
And you know what? And people,
I'm a debater.
I mean, that's fine.
you know,
I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm not justifying his actions at all.
Yeah, nobody
But
is.
oftentimes, right? People look at a male and instantly assume he's the aggressor or he's the wrong one. Yes, he did leave his hotel in a bath towel to chase after her when she was removing herself.
Right.
But again, that woman could have stole $1 billion out of his account. We don't know that.
We don't know.
But-
And
but-
somebody in the comments said, my first thought was something was stolen. He went for the bags. He went for the bags during the attack. That's what when she fell, that's what he grabbed first. He didn't. Then once he picked the bag up, then he went over and did some more hitting to her. Again, I say this in any situation, you don't put your hands on a woman.
She probably
period.
was going to expose him. She probably had a cell phone.
I mean, it could have been anything.
That's what
because
I'm
then
thinking.
she took a payoff. She didn't go to the police.
Well, we have-
She didn't go to police. She didn't report it. She went and threatened, I guess, about making a hush. So he paid her off, and she said she wouldn't do nothing. But then the video surfaced.
Well, we have to keep in mind that it was consistent abuse,
And
so
we also
don't know what number that situation was with her.
we don't know, but
Involving
all
him.
it goes back to what you said. It shouldn't have happened, but that particular time was caught on camera. So she was probably doing that and experiencing that, and the typical domestic syndrome when a woman goes back after continuously being abused. It's happened. They keep going back. It's just that one time that we are able to see what happened. Because that video never surfaced. Then what?
To me, the energy is giving control. Like, I feel like he was controlling her, and she probably couldn't deal with it.
And you know what? A lot of people don't realize, and I'm not at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion justifying his actions or condoning his behavior. However, we have to also keep in mind that Diddy was abused himself coming up in the music industry.
Right.
Child, you got money. Go get you some therapy.
Well, it doesn't even work like that. I mean, okay, so let's step back, take a deep breath, serious moment. Okay, which I didn't know. Dante pointed out that he, went through abuse. We know, I know from just my experience and dealing with society. Dante, your background, there's what's the word? We talked about this in another episode before.
Trauma.
Yeah. Sometimes not everybody, when they go through something like that, they tend to kind of fall in those footsteps and do those things. But not everybody is like that. And if they don't get the trauma dealt with, sometimes it could affect them. Not saying, again, I'm not going to keep repeating myself.
So when do you
I'm not
seek-
saying that it justifies. You say what?
So when do you seek help in that department?
It's
Because
up to
it's clear as day. Something like that is going to stand out to you.
It's up to the
Especially
individual.
if you
Right, it's
see
up- right,
yourself
it's up to the
committing
individual.
These type of actions towards people.
It's
Clearly, you're fucked up.
it's up to the individual.
Right. He
I
is
get
sick.
that. Yeah.
He is sick.
But that's why
and
I
the
said,
person,
when do you seek help? You have tons of money, bitch. Go sit down, talk about your problems, and figure it out.
But this is easier said than done.
Clearly,
It-
just like a victim of domestic violence that keeps going back to the same
Yeah.
situation. It's the same thing. A sick person abused him, and then he became that same sick person.
right.
yeah.
And not to say that if he did not get abused, that he would still be the same person, but it is a cycle.
Right.
It does become
That's
a
what it
cycle.
is. It's a cycle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
I totally
either-
understand that, but I'm about solutions. How are you going to make it better? Because
Well-
clearly, it's going to lead you down a path of destruction.
The beautiful thing about today's society is that we have social media, right? We have social media. We have nosy ass fucking investigative journalists, and so a lot of things are coming to light. And so a lot of things, there's not much that can go on behind the scenes that is not going to eventually come to light.
Right.
And so those individuals who were abused, and what I love now is that there's a much greater access to mental health counseling and therapy.
Right.
Versus than what it was back then.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot more people are coming to terms with being okay with seeking therapy and mental health counseling.
Because it's not everybody is quick to do it. It's something that they gotta want, like you said, they gotta want to do it. And you force it in their face or saying, "Oh, you need to get help." No, I don't.
I mean, I totally understand.
Yeah.
You're definitely going to do it at your own.
You have to.
Time.
DeSanto said, and we're assuming it was Cassie. I don't recall facial recognition confirmed. I don't know either, but we're just going.
So he just beating up bitches.
He's a celebrity. It could
I
have been a random bitch.
I feel like.
I mean, come on now.
It could have been a random bitch he had in his room.
Yeah, I mean,
A random light skinned bitch. Right.
Yeah, it's Diddy.
You're random light skin.
Oh,
Not a random light skinned bitch,
I'm light skinned, but I mean,
to a person
still.
that doesn't know you, like if there's a camera and they see something like on a video, right? If you're on a video, if I don't put on the video who's in the video, they won't know. They're gonna be like, oh, that's a light skinned dude and rock, or that's a light skinned dude and such. But when you put the name and you can confirm who it is, because it's just like if I'm going through like a video of like some lost archive footage and I don't know who's in the video, I can't put a name on it because I don't know who it is. And then sometimes people come back but like, that's actually not such and such in that video. That was somebody else.
It's a Jane Doe,
Right?
Or John Doe,
Or John Smith, Jingleheimer Smith.
I want to. So Santino said abuse today is what discipline was for his age group. I just want to say abuse is abuse no matter what time frame it's in. Okay. If a person is being forced to do something against their will, okay, or if they're being manipulated to do things that they wouldn't normally do, it's abuse.
It's abuse, yeah. And of course, we know abuse comes in several forms, whether it be verbal, physical, mental, emotional, sexual. It's abuse.
Exactly.
In of course, in our time, there's a level of it because our parents used to discipline us in certain ways that people would probably call abuse today, but back then it's just like go get the switch,
right? And it doesn't take it away that it was abuse. Like for instance, a man will force his wife to stay home, and nowadays if you're forcing your wife to stay home, it will be considered abuse. But I mean, then maybe not so much, but it doesn't take away that it was still abuse,
right?
There was a purpose back then. The purpose was for you to understand that what you're doing is wrong. It wasn't to intentionally break you down and make you feel worthless or whatever the case may be. That's my definition of back in the day disciplinary actions.
Well,
today, when you
it'll still be looked at like that from
when you're just
today to
doing it
look at back then.
But when you're just doing it because you feel like you can do it, that's beyond disciplinary action.
It's not back up a little bit. You're gonna eat up the damn mic. I'm gonna eat this thing. And again, I think it's with two different or three different generations and how we grew up. Just like me and Dante may have grown up in a different time frame of when Mikhail grew up, and some of you out there, and how we were disciplined. We didn't look at it because I remember getting on a call, and some kid tried to call and say that his mom and dad was abusing him and shit like that. It's like, how? Because I'm the officer on the scene, so I'm going to handle it the way I see fit. There's no bruises. You're not hurt. You're not bleeding. You're not scratched. So what exactly did she do to abuse you? And what it was, she told him he couldn't go out. He came in the house all late. It's like she told him you can't be coming in my house all late like that. You got school in the morning. You're not even a fucking teenager. So I'm like, well, that's not abuse, son. You know what I'm saying? You live with your parents, they have rules, and you need to abide by those rules in her household. And when you become of the age that you can leave and be on your own, then you can do what you want to do. But as long as you're under her roof, and you need to do what she said, because back in the day, you get the shit knocked out of you.
Exactly. And people really don't understand what it really means to be abused. Because I grew up during a time, I'm 35, I'm gonna throw that out there. Okay, so, and I love my mother. I have a really great relationship with my mother now. But when I was younger, what was acceptable for her, because she grew up during a time where, the yelling and the cursing at your child was acceptable, right? So when I came of age, I got to a point where I'm just like, well, this is not how I want to be talked to. So I found it to be abusive.
Mm-hmm.
When you know how mothers were back then. You bitch,
get your ass in here,
motherfucker.
Right, you were everything under the sun.
So, when I was of age, around 11 or 12 years old, I found that to be abusive, right? And now today's kids, you can't even yell at them, and they're going to say that it's abusive.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to say any type of a cuss word to them without it coming off as abusive.
All you got to do is raise your voice 2 octaves.
Then they'd be like, I'm calling DFS on your
you yelled at
hotline,
Exactly.
But then again, even from there, it depends on who shows up at the house, or that takes the case and how they it would take the investigators. Okay, so where are we? When did all this occur? When did it start? What are some of the things the parents say to you? Is it something physical or is it all verbal? Because I've seen it in all types of families, not just black families. It happens in fucking white, Asian, Hispanics, a lot. So I'm just saying, no shade, but it is what it is. I've seen them, but I think, and you could probably help more with that. You don't see a lot of, and we're going to jump back and stuff, but you don't see a lot of Hispanics in the system as far as when it comes to like the Hispanic service abuse, or no?
You don't.
As much as like blacks or whites.
Exactly. And of course, but, and you don't, because one, there's an entire cultural difference.
Mm-hmm.
So when, obviously, whites and blacks, right? Black people was brought over here through the transatlantic slave trade, and so and then white people left the countries to free to get away from whatever parliament, whatever, and so a lot of people, like blacks and whites, adapted to the American culture, or created what we know as the American culture. Now Latinos who have come from their countries or whatever, and they come with their culture with them, right? And so this is a part of their culture. So they don't really, even though they're assimilating to American culture, they still have their culture.
Their own culture,
exactly.
Right.
And so they deal with things in their own way, versus us who have grew up in the American culture, and which is constantly evolving throughout the years. That's just not how they deal with shit.
Yeah. Just like people call themselves verse tops and verse bottoms. Evolving.
Let them people live. Let them people live.
Fuck that. Kill yourself.
Don't do that.
No, do it. No, I'm just playing. So before we move on, I'm just curious. What do you think? Let's go to this one over here. What do you think is going to happen? With just in your brief idea, what do you think is going to happen with this Diddy situation and Cassie, from what we believe that is her on that video?
Honestly, I don't think much is going to happen in regards to it. Like, it's already been settled. So I just feel like, at this point, it's just about things just being exposed, and, certain things that that's been kept hidden. It's just going to come to the forefront. I just feel like that's where we're at with it. At this point, we know Diddy's a fucking liar. We know Diddy's on some other shit.
Yeah, we know that now.
I just feel like at this point, everything is just going to start unraveling. So,
But we won't stop.
I feel like there's a lot more.
Bad boy. What do you think, Mr.
Even
Dante?
with those hits and them talk about him killing Tupac and all that shit. Like,
I didn't hear that.
Well, whoever.
Yeah.
I'm not excusing him whatsoever, but I think there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah,
and they are distracting. They are distracting the world from the much larger fish.
Yeah, in some cases, I know that. DeSantis says it's already been dropped. The statute of limitations is up, so the DA cannot prosecute him for this offense, but he is over nonetheless. He's definitely canceled. Probably, eventually,
we
maybe.
Don't have confirmation.
He has ties to a lot.
But that stuff that he's dealing with now for the stuff that happened in his house. They're still focusing on that.
He may not be in the forefront, but he's still gonna get his money.
The trafficking thing, yeah. I don't think and I don't think it's going to be like a full culture cancel. I think just people that, because look at it, people have done and said things about people, you know, the gay community, shit like that, and we still listen to their music.
My thing is, okay, hear me out, right? Throughout all these allegations, I ain't heard nothing about no little boys, no little girls.
Not yet.
I haven't.
Not
the thing
yet.
is that whatever that they're accusing him of is all adults.
Right.
Y'all need to focus on these pedophiles.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's people out here abusing children. What's going on with Disney and Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Fuck Diddy.
Yeah.
What about these motherfuckers fucking with kids?
Yeah. Well, I think there was a point that something came out that there was a, I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me. Like there was like a 17-year-old or something that was at his house or something like that.
That shit is all tied together. I feel like there are people in high places that know exactly what the fuck is going on, how it's going on. I feel like that's all tied together.
It is. And there was a pedophile ring.
That's why I said
a group of high-powered individuals who are fucking pedophiles who were paying people to have their children.
Right. And the people were taking the payments
Exactly.
and giving up their children.
So,
like R. Kelly. Them parents knew.
first of all,
yeah. Go ahead. You go.
Nah, I
first.
don't want to talk about that.
Go.
Let's be honest.
By the way, that video, that piss video was out back when I was a fucking teenager, like years ago.
And he went to jail.
And I remember that shit back when Black Planet was going on. This is before he went to jail.
But
I'm saying
all that
years later, I was even shocked when it happened. I'm like, wait, this is they talking about this now? This shit happened. I was a fucking kid when this fucking video came out, like 13, 14 years old when I saw that video. And then now years later, you know, it's coming out and they do a documentary about it, and you go to jail because these girls came forward and said blah blah blah. And it's what was the Me Too movement thingy that pushed it or whatever. But I don't know. I think that, not saying that anything that is wrong, I mean, if you did something that's, you know, against the law and you hurt somebody, you raped somebody and shit like that, yeah, you deserve to go to jail and serve crime for your time. But when there's things that's involved, when there's consent, then that needs to be looked into further. You don't just lock somebody up and throw away the key.
I agree with
You need to look into it, because if a person allows this to happen and the parents know that it happened, then there's no crime. You know what I'm saying? Because they were aware what they did, and I'm sure that you were paid as the parent because you let your child go with this person.
I mean, it was a crime. The parents need to be in jail too.
Well, if you're gonna lock them up, then lock them up too.
Yeah, because you were responsible for this child's well-being, their care, and their livelihood. And if you knowingly put your child in a situation that will cause them harm, okay,
Piss don't
or
hurt.
abuse,
Piss.
huh?
Piss ain't never hurt nobody.
That was nefarious.
Riley said it best. He said, you should have moved out the way. You just stood there and let him.
First of all, people are sick. I fucking hate people. Are fucking sick, and
Yeah.
people are fucking sick.
So, I want to go. Dante, I scratched the nerve.
Yeah, I listen.
Look, it's like
what's crazy is I'm not a big kids person.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I don't give a fuck if I see somebody abusing a child, because I was once a child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going to stand up for them.
Exactly. And it's just like, because, you know, like I said, I got good relationships with people in my life now. But when I was younger, there were certain things that happened to me that I wish somebody who knew better would have stood in the gap to make sure that I was protected as a child.
Right.
Okay. And so a lot of, you know, like I said, it was a different time, but you know, we as black people, especially within our communities, we have to start at some point taking accountability for the fucked up shit we say and the fucked up shit that we do.
Yeah.
Okay. And so
that ship has sailed.
No, we still can
you
take
still
accountability.
do it. Yeah.
So me, as a person.
Yeah.
I'm urging everybody else.
I think
there's
there's always room for to hold yourself accountable for things. I mean, if you look back, you know what, I fucked up. That was I did. I fucked up. So let me do what I can do to fix this. And if it can't be fixed, I assure you that it won't happen again.
Exactly.
You know, because some shit is just not undoable.
Exactly. And that's why I don't have children, but I have siblings who have children, and I have regular conversations with them, and just to kind of see what their understanding is or what their grasp is when it comes to parenting, and then I give my input. And I know a lot of people like, oh well, how can you give input? You're not a parent. Like, how can you speak?
Right.
Well, I was once a child.
Right. Exactly. With parents.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm definitely giving my input.
Exactly. So, and it's just like, and then not only that, but as a queer child growing up, trying to come to terms with who I was, right? There's a lot of things that especially heterosexual parents are just not going to understand, and you could be causing trauma to this child not even knowing that.
Right. Right.
Just like a lot of us don't even realize that, but we went through trauma as children, especially coming up as black queer people.
Yeah.
Right. You got told, you know, what you switching? You need to walk straight,
right.
or you know, stop crying. You a boy.
You're a sissy.
Right. You acting like one of them sissies. Exactly. Or something. You know. So it's like, and we don't realize that, you know, this heteronormative activities and shit kind of cause some trauma within a lot of, you know, black, and, you know, I was gonna say black men, but black women as well, who, you know, and so, and not only that, and a lot of people who are heterosexual don't even realize that they still carry that trauma with them, because when they have children, then they're like, yeah, don't do that,
they're
that's
doing the
gay.
same thing.
Exactly. And they don't realize they're carrying that trauma.
They're passing it on to their kids.
Exactly. So,
well, I mean,
such a weak.
The truth is,
it's weak-minded, in my opinion. That's what I look at it.
I mean,
what makes you? Why can't you think on your own? Obviously, you know that this is abuse, so why do it? And thinking that that's going to really make a difference or matter at the end of the day, instead of just embracing it and just communicating and talking about it. And I just feel like people don't learn.
I don't want to get too deep, but people don't realize that they live in matrices. Yeah, and they don't realize that there's even smaller matrices inside of other matrices, right? And so they don't realize that. They don't know that they're living in a cycle.
That's why I call it weak-minded.
But no, but see, that's I think to me, and I think in some instances, to the defense of those people that experience those things and go through it, because I've been down that road, but because of what I dealt with doesn't make me weak-minded on how I dealt with the situation.
No,
you know
I'm not saying that.
No. I'm saying because as
people who continue to keep a cycle going, none that is effective, but harmful to another person.
But even then, I don't disagree that it's weak-minded. You know what I'm saying? Because it could be, like you said, it could be trauma that they have not fully dealt with, to allow their mind to evolve and be like, okay, this
or
this
not
has
aware.
To change. Right.
Or they're not aware.
You're not aware. Yeah. I mean, I think if you,
I'm sorry,
it's okay.
I can't excuse it.
It's okay. None of us are psychologists, so you know. But at the same time, sometimes it takes experience, or actual trauma in that category to be able to deal with and understand it. You know what I'm saying? Just as like you tell a person. And not to go too much into it, and be like, you know, someone that's lost a mother or father, be like, you go to, oh, I understand. No, you don't know shit. You don't fucking understand, because you have both of your parents. Right. So you can't tell me that you understand. You can't tell a woman, oh, I understand what you're going through, because by her being abused by her girlfriend or boyfriend, because you're not being abused by your boyfriend or girlfriend, or you haven't been repeatedly abused by your boyfriend or girlfriend, because she chooses to go through that cycle. She probably doesn't choose to, but she's in that mindset, but she just can't get out of that mindset because
I'm not referring to the people that are being abused.
I mean, anybody that's
doing the abuse.
Or you talking about the abuser?
Yeah, so you know that this is going to cause harm to this person. You have to know that this is going to cause harm to this person. I especially in the long run.
I used to think this. I used to have that same mindset when it comes to people who use drugs. Why can't you just stop?
Right.
It's easier said than done, right? And then I got to a point where I'm just like, because I didn't understand it, and I was like, you know what? I don't have an addictive personality, so I will never understand a drug addict. And then when I got to or came to the conclusion or came to the mindset of that these individuals are dealing with a sickness that we don't want to acknowledge or say that it is a sickness because they're addicted, they're stuck in a loop, they're stuck in a cycle of constant drug use. And even though we can't understand that, it doesn't take away that they're still dealing with a sickness because they can't break out that loop. They can't leave the drugs alone. And you know, we don't understand it. So I think it's the same thing when it comes to people who have been abused and who cause abuse.
Right.
They don't realize that they're stuck in a cycle. Sure, at some point they might get an inkling that fuck, I'm causing harm to somebody.
Right. After the fact.
But how do you get out of that?
Right.
How do you deal with your emotions? How do you deal with the erraticness of it all?
But it's a cycle. But what I want to do, we can actually come back to this. Don't want to cut you off. We'll probably make it a topic specific on that. 'Cause we can go on all that. We're going in circles, but I definitely appreciate both your input on that. And that's probably something that we do need to bring in as a topic. But to jump in on today's topic,
Liar, pants on fire.
yeah, Lila Pants on Fire. I think we've all had now. Jesse, I remember being in the police academy, and we, as I said in the description, there's a difference with necessary dishonesty and unnecessary dishonesty. And they taught us sometimes you have to do what you have to do in order to get certain things done, not to cause harm to people or to be completely deceitful to take advantage of a person, but to just kind of make the voice lie. You know, oh yeah, everything's gonna be fine. You know, I just need you to relax, come over here. I'm just gonna put the cuffs on you for a minute. We're gonna talk about it. In actuality, yeah, you're going to jail. We found out what you did. You know what I'm saying? Everything's not okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
You're going to jail.
You're going to jail. You know, just want to put that. You know, but because when you size up the person, you're looking at them, it's like, you know, this is gonna be a fight if I just come right out and tell them what's going on. You know, so, but then we have those people that we tend to be around or in our lives that tend to lie for no reason.
I feel like lying is
at
an
all.
addiction too.
Yeah,
Because it makes no sense why people lie the way that they do.
and they do it back to 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 back.
I feel like
It's like, why?
I feel like there's never not a reason though.
There's always, I mean, Jerome, there's a reason. I don't think there's always a reason to lie when you can just be honest and tell the truth of why you can't do something. Because if I do something for you, or if you tell me you're going to do something, and then that time comes for you to do it, and you don't do it, you don't have to just tell me why the fuck you didn't do it.
So I say this because I feel like even habitual liars, they're lying for they have a reason. Even though we may not understand
every lie,
they're trying to manipulate something.
Yeah, every so we established and we agree. Yes, every lie has a reason, right? There's a reason behind the lie. So what is the reason? It's getting to that without another lie being created to avoid the reason.
The number one is manipulation.
Right.
Number
Control.
one.
Right.
Yeah, control.
Mm-hmm.
Which falls under manipulation.
Right, yeah.
You know, and you know, even habitual liars who just lie. I'm going to say what you said for no reason.
For no reason.
But there's a reason.
There's a reason.
Because you're trying to spin a story, right? So, you know, like for instance, right? You might tell, I don't know, you might tell me half of some of a situation, and you're gonna tell Mikhail the other half of the situation, but you're gonna keep us, you know. And I feel like
I didn't lie.
Liars, right? You didn't lie.
I didn't lie. I did not fully divulge all the information to you.
But I feel like habitual liars, that's what they're doing. They're telling me a lie, and they're gonna go tell Mikhail another lie,
Which is a different lie.
It's a different
but they're
lie.
related to the same thing.
exactly.
Right. To throw it up so that way you can't go back to him and ask him something. But then when you do ask him, like, that's not what he told me.
Right, and that's one. Like, I'm just like, I don't get it. But I'm like, again, like with drug addicts, I guess it ain't meant for me to get. But I'm gonna need you to exit stage left because why are you doing all this lying? If I'm a honest and vulnerable person with you, why can't you be honest and vulnerable with me?
So you can tell that if a person comes to you, for example, Mikhail, and they'll tell you it's dishonest, it's a lie. But do you think they're telling you the lie to protect you? Because there are lies to people. There are. Well, hold on. There are lies that people tell to protect someone, and it depends on what it is that's being said.
If it's life-threatening, that's
Well,
fine. If
well,
it's life-threatening, that's understandable. I can be reasonable about that. But no, I don't feel like
Fuck
there's
that.
no way.
But then again, you also
Because-
the opposite of that, and some people can't take it. The truth hurts. I mean, and it is what it is. But I'm going to. I've done it many times where I may sit up and somebody may want to know information on something. I'm like, yeah, I'm not telling you that. I'm gonna tell you. I'm going to fucking tell you a lie. But it's not a lie to be deceitful to you or to hurt you. But it's a lie because it's none of your business.
But see, okay, so what?
That's a lie, though, right?
It is a
But it's not bad because I don't owe you. It's
because
either
you're not telling me the whole truth.
no, the whole truth
The whole truth.
and nothing but the truth.
You're giving me an abbreviation in a way of, or just a summary of
is it-
what you feel like
is
I should
it-
be able to. I can handle.
Would it be an abbreviation?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. Would it be? Would you automatically look at it as an abbreviation?
I won't look at it as the full truth as to why.
What if it is?
If it is and it's supported, then okay, you got it.
Well, who's going to support it if I'm the one that's holding the truth?
I don't know. There's
Yeah,
ways to
fuck
figure.
with 'em.
There's always ways to figure something out.
But see, so if like for example, if it comes to you with some information, right, enough to where it doesn't need to divulge everything, would you still consider that a lie?
Yeah, because I'm the type of person that wants to know everything.
But
Tell me
what?
everything.
But what
I
if
don't
it's
care
not
how it's gonna
meant?
affect me or not? Tell me everything. That's yeah. I'm sorry.
So it's a lie, even if they told you. Half.
But you literally
It's a lie.
just said, Mikhail, that if it's to save your life, it's
and I
okay.
said I would be reasonable with that response.
right.
But
so,
you just said you want to know everything. Tell
right,
you everything.
right.
I mean,
so why
yeah,
would I
yeah.
tell you everything? But what I feel is reasonable enough to tell you enough to protect you, I'm going to tell you just that, but not everything else because of what I know. Because that, if I tell you further beyond that, how am I to know what your reaction or response is going to be? That could then make the situation worse because you're going to respond.
Like you said, it is what it is.
That's why I stopped. That's why I would stop at a certain point because if your life is in danger, I'm only going to tell you the minimum that I know that will keep you safe, but keep you aware.
That's the only thing that I will respect. That outside of that,
Well, I mean, okay, so then it falls into, and you let me know what you think of this. It falls into also how much more is given to you because you can't make the person not lie or not give you the full
I
story.
agree with you on that. You can't.
So how do you what is your, and I'm just trying to dig in your mind, what's your workaround with that? How would you approach that?
There's no way to approach that because I'm not in your mind. I can't get you to wanna tell me the complete and honest truth.
Oh, okay, pause. You said complete and honest truth.
Yeah.
That was no lie.
Okay,
That
so if there
is
wasn't
the
no lie,
truth.
then it is what it
That
is.
is the truth. But you just said, not trying to put you on trial, but you
It's
just
okay.
you just said that you said that if they don't tell you the full story, then it's a lie.
I'm gonna look at it as a lie, yeah. Because you should have told me that the way
I-
you should have told me that in the beginning, the way it needed to be said. And again, I'm only speaking about now. If it's life threatening, like I said, outside of that, yeah, I want to know everything.
Everything.
Tell me
Okay.
everything. That's just me. I'm sorry. It's just in my DNA. Tell me everything.
You ever had somebody like lie to you and you kind of picked up on?
They seen how I got.
What, I know we talked about this last episode, but what's your sign again?
Aries.
Is it Aries?
Oh, okay.
Can't you tell?
No.
Well,
Well,
I am a fire sign. That is
Jesus
correct. Yes.
Christ.
okay.
But see, my thing is, I know I have my pet peeve for liars, and it's not just me being an Aquarius. It's me being and not having the skill set of knowing when a motherfucker's lying to me. It's and reading people's body language or hearing their voice, or even when they're texting, and it's just like you say it to yourself, like, okay, why are you lying? I'm gonna play into it, but I know you fucking lying.
Exactly.
So my pet thing is like, okay, my pet peeve is just like I'll and I have a bad habit of giving a person multiple chances, because this is a small part. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. Or if we're like really good friends, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, I've known you for so long, but it's like, dude, why you gotta keep? What the fuck is the problem?
I feel like we live in a world where people, majority of people can't handle the truth, which is why a lot of people lie. But I just feel like I'm one of those people, and there's probably a few, I don't know, who can handle the truth. Like there are people out here who can handle the truth behind somebody's actions. Or
you say that.
I'm speaking for myself.
And then you blow up and set somebody's car on fire.
I mean,
Right.
a reaction is a reaction.
Bust some windows out the car.
But if I'm still able to process and comprehend it for what it is, that's just what it is.
But maybe people are trying to avoid that reaction.
You can't avoid it if you're doing it. I mean,
I'm just saying. Okay, so
I mean, they're avoiding it to an extent because they're lying repetitively.
So you're just drawing out the reaction.
Well, yeah.
So months go by.
It depends.
Either now the house got to come down, or you're gonna lose your job. I don't know.
One of those things.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the person, because if that person keeps lying, right, and then you keep dealing with them, and some of us do. We got friends that are habitual liars, but we know how to deal with them.
I ain't got no habitual lying ass friend.
Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
What that mean? Tell me something I don't know.
But you ever had that? You're like, my friend, they're like, they never lied to you.
Those are the type of friends I roll my eyes at.
Okay.
No, I know.
Like,
I know when people lie. I know when they're lying, but I don't have habitual.
Am I lying now about?
No, you're not. There's some truth in there. So this is the thing. I'm able to read people, so that's how I know there's some truth in there. But
not read, but read. Not read, but read.
They're not a habitual liar though. Habitual liar is like when you just constantly lying for no goddamn reason.
Right. Where you going to the store? You lying, bitch. You ain't gonna.
So for instance, if it's the individual who I'm thinking that you're talking about, they lie for a reason. Okay. Because they did not want me to be in their business. Okay. Because they know that I'm nosy.
Right.
And I'm not nosy. It's just like,
I'm gonna say it's inquisitive.
My friend, I'm gonna ask you a question.
I want to know. Yeah.
Right, if I'm your friend, I'm gonna say, hey, Rock, what's going on with such and such? I'm
like, look, well, tell you what.
You could be like,
I said, do you want the truth or you want me to lie to you? I actually ask people that.
You do.
I do.
You do.
Because I want to know how do you want to feel?
That's courteous. Though.
Yeah. Do you want me to lie to you or do you want the truth? And it's so crazy. I've had one person say, lie to me. I'm like, okay.
Because then they was gonna know the truth.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And whatever helps you get it better and receive it better, then I do it. Because then they'll know it's a lie. It's like, okay, no, that's not it.
I don't understand how that is helping
how that works.
A person feel better.
Oh, it's not to help you feel. It's not meant to help you feel better.
Because if there's only two outcomes of this situation, right, and you ask, and I say, hey, do you want me to lie to you or tell you the truth? And there's only two outcomes, and I tell you, and you say lie to me, that means that I know the truth.
You know the truth, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
So they wanted to be entertaining and entertaining shit, and then that way I let my friend off not being responsible for telling me the truth.
Here it is. Completely. You drove my car, got to an accident. Like, so where's the car? So about that, you want me to lie to you or tell you the truth? And you be like, lie to me. Okay, car's fine.
It's in the garage.
You already know. You know that car ain't in the fucking garage. It's in the garage, all right. It's not your garage. Exactly. It's a fucking tow yard garage. That motherfucker's total. I fucked your shit up. I got sideswiped, rear-ended, and rolled over.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hope you got insurance.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I left that bitch on the side of the road. I think it sparked a fire when I walked away.
And the keys are in it. But I don't think nobody gonna be driving away with them. Now, all that was the truth.
Good news, it's not in the city pound yet.
That was all the truth. That was all the truth. But because the lie, you push it out, so it's just like, where's my shit? Okay. But no, people, I think. Because I know somebody, and just like if I said that, it irks my nerves, because it's just like I always fall for it, give in because I'm a helpful person. But then my thing is when a person say they're going to do something and do it, but then later, you don't even even though you lied when you said you were going to do it, you were lying then. Mm-hmm. And I knew it, but I still move forward, right? I wouldn't be so upset if you even came back and followed up with another lie, excusing why you did what you didn't do. You feel what I'm saying? Like you did something, but you didn't do it, but then you lied why you didn't do it. But that's okay because you came with a bullshit excuse. But at least you came back and said why you didn't do it.
It grinds my gears.
And I don't believe
it. Don't grind. I let people lie to me. Let me tell you what, especially when I know the truth. I'm just
right.
Yeah.
That's the part. That's the part when you know.
You know, I'm. Let me hold on. Let me check this. Okay. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Okay, so somebody went out, right? You know, I got back at this time. Da 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 da. Imagine you. I got your location. Oh, and I just so happened to have been up at a certain time. So, you know, when you tell me you got in the house at this time and I'm literally up looking.
I just can't. I'm sorry.
No, but see, it was entertaining to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand that, but then you have people who don't want to be entertained. Don't lie to me.
Well, then that's a level.
What are you lying for?
That would be a level versus the entertaining part of a lie where you know a habitual liar versus when it's like an emotional, serious lie, like you wouldn't want nobody lying to you like on some real deep, serious shit, right? Yeah. So it's just like, don't fucking sit there and lie to me. Like if I ask you a question, I just want a direct answer. Don't beat around the bush. Don't ask me why I'm asking what I'm asking. Because then I know you're gonna either think another lie, or you're trying to come up with your little defense.
I was just so for me, I'm learning them, and so I'm learning how you lie. So that's why I entertain it because now when it's a serious lie, I know how calm you are. Mm-hmm. I know your little ticks. Mm-hmm. I know how you look away when you can't look me in the eyes when you know. So or whatever your tick is. I'm learning you, so that for me, that's why I entertain it. When I know that you're lying,
that's the thing for me anyway. I mean, I've learned that's the thing. If you're talking to, because I'm a strong believer in eye contact. If I'm talking to you and you looking away, then you're lying to me. Well, and I'll tell you, I need you to look at me when I'm talking to you.
I used to get in trouble a lot for that because I don't like long eye contact. Yeah. So
the guilt. But
you said what?
I think it'd be guilt.
What's guilt? Because you did something.
I want to look at him in the eyes, like, bitch, I know I did it.
Yeah. No, because then when I'm guilty, I'm staring you in your face like this.
Yeah,
I try not to break it. I'm like weirdly staring.
I'm sorry, I laugh.
I better relax your face.
I get caught
because you're caught.
I'm like, no, I'm not. I didn't do it.
You did.
I didn't do it.
You did it.
I swear.
Is there a difference between dealing with a liar within a relationship or somebody you're not in a relationship with?
There's a difference.
Definitely.
There's definitely different.
Definitely.
So I think sometimes when I speak, I'm speaking
on a relationship level.
I don't play that. Don't lie to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because if we're partners,
I
need
you have no reason.
Honesty.
I need complete honesty and transparency.
Now, if it's somebody else, let it roll right off of me. Mm-hmm. Depending on the level of the lie. Mm-hmm. But in relationships, it's just a no-no.
Because you got some lies that people would do, and repetitive lies that would be like, I'm gonna fuck you up because you gotten a little bit too familiar with doing this shit, and you do it purposely, intentionally, all the fucking time. And it's just like, I'm not a violent person, but you lie to me again, I will beat your ass because. Yeah.
Okay, Diddy.
I will beat your ass. Chase you down a hallway, and
but you have to understand there are people out here getting killed
for lies,
shit like this.
Yeah, seriously. And I would never hurt a person
killed for truths too. So you can't. Okay,
but we did talk about that at certain points when dishonesty is necessary to prevent such situations.
But he's saying people getting killed for
I like
lies.
how you said that. I can't respond to that because I just feel like I feel like it has something to do with the mental stability of a person. Mm-hmm. If you're allowing yourself to go,
you have been hurt. You've been hurt.
I definitely have. That's why I don't play that.
No, I wasn't trying to make funny. But
I know.
That was a Family Guy.
Aries scorned.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Watch out, world.
Right? No. How you gonna burn fire?
Put some water on this shit.
Make sure it's water, not kerosene. So, I mean, but I think that too, because if we have gone through so much of people doing that, the constant lying, then you start to tell me the more no nonsense type shit.
It alters reality.
Yeah, it's like
because now
you sound full of shit.
Like y'all all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and some people don't want to live like that.
No,
that stops people from living life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I think too, and I think Dante touched on this. We also, even if we don't like those type of things, with people that are in our circle, I'll say that, like people close to us, it's definitely important that they don't lie. But in reality, outside the matrix, yeah, we have to be acceptable to know that. I hate to say this, but dishonesty in some cases is necessary. Just like you can't have good without evil.
It's a balance.
And evil doesn't exist without good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it would almost be the same thing, when it comes to honesty and dishonesty. But it's about how you use it. Because you can be, like I said, y'all been watching X-Men 97, right? You got evil people out there. Just because even they do certain things doesn't mean they're out to be hurtful to anybody. That's just who they are. That's just their character. That's how they are as a person. But they can still do good things.
We can probably tie this into the other episode. We should keep like a notebook or something. But because I don't like that concept of good and evil, because I don't believe that people are truly evil. And I don't believe that everybody is truly good.
Well, the actions that they do.
There's a purpose that people have, right? And sometimes that purpose is to serve themselves, or sometimes that purpose is to serve others. But either way, there's a purpose for why they do something.
But the balance is still there.
Because somebody might label a kid who goes to the supermarket and steal an orange or apple,
a little fucking terrorist.
Exactly. They will label him a terrorist. He's a thief. He's a terrorist, etc. But what they don't know is that kid is living in an abandoned building.
Right.
Parents are dead. He has no money. He don't know how to eat, and he don't know how to provide for himself other than to steal.
So not totally look at it from that aspect. When I say good and evil, you mean like those people that have true negative intentions. Yeah. Like there's not, but in each person there's still a balance.
Did you see The Incredibles? You watched The Incredibles?
Which one?
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So check this out. A little boy gets ignored by his hero, and in order to get his attention, he does what he think is going to get his attention,
right?
Which is to get on the opposite side of him, because he knows that's what all he's focused on is beating villains, right? And the only way that he knows how to get his hero's attention is to become a villain.
Yeah.
But he had a purpose for that.
Right.
Now, sure, it was fucked up.
Right.
But his purpose was to get his hero's attention, and all it was is just some little boy who became a grown man who was just seeking attention. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
But also, like, damn, somebody showed this motherfucker some attention.
Yeah.
We want the pure intentions. That's how I look at it. Like, either you're going to be doing some reckless ass shit and causing harm to people, or you're not. Like, I understand that, what you just said and how you said it, but I feel like that falls in between, but there are bigger pieces outside.
I'm speaking on a bigger scope. Yeah. Of good and evil, and even if you not to go too far into it, but you look at from a biblical.
I got a question. I'm so sorry. I just realized something. This Snoop Dogg, he ain't put no there's no THC in his wine, is it?
No. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
I ain't gonna take that back. I don't know.
Okay, because this Snoop Dogg, I'm like, wait a minute.
You're feeling it. He's like, hold on, I'm gonna change this.
I gotta ask this question. I'm sorry. What is this? 58 minutes later.
Yeah, you got that glass like right before we started recording. Like, now you want to ask, but I think that from a biblical standpoint, just briefly, you have heaven and hell, the devil, God, you know what I'm saying? So that there's always going to be.
I've never heard you speak about spirituality.
You don't want me to get to preaching.
Go ahead,
right.
You don't want me to get to preaching.
Another episode of spirituality. Let's talk about it.
Get me started. But there still has to be that understanding. Even the people that don't believe in it, you know what I'm saying?
It's real.
It's still there.
And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is because since the beginning of time, right, there's always been like this concept of religion and those who do good and then those who do bad go here,
right,
and those who good up there, right? And I think that's where this concept of good and bad came from. But there's a purpose for that,
right? But it's not even that's not even true, good, you know, right? It's not even true that happens.
And that means that you wasn't in alignment with someone's idea of what it means to be good.
Right.
And it's all ideologies.
But
which is why I like to stray away from it. And it's simply because I work with clients, right? In my professional life, I work with clients. And I don't want to ever sit in front of a client and have this mindset like this client is good and that client is bad.
Right, never that.
I'm here to work with you.
Because we're not the judge. We're not the one that's actually going to be the judge to say what's going to happen.
But we have to acknowledge that the bad is set up to doom us.
What's bad?
I'm saying bad in general, the evil.
What's bad in general? Explain what's bad.
How you choose to live.
What do you mean?
If you are living a life where you are just constantly bringing destruction, and not only to yourself but to others, like you.
So you mean?
Like
I was gonna say, so right. If you say, for instance, you created a world, okay, that I don't know any other way to shape it, but I'm gonna say like, right, if you created a world where everybody in the world were Rock's boys, and I decided. I don't. So in this world, the ideology of this world is that everybody is a Rocks boy, and I say, well, I don't want to be a Rocks boy.
You're doomed.
Bye.
Right. I want to wear bow ties and college shirts and I just think it's so wrong to go to the club and I don't know, dance or whatever. With that, technically in your world, I will be bad.
I wouldn't look at you as bad. I would look at you as an individual that's rebellious and thinks on their own and has their own thoughts and vision. I'm not, but
I seen where you were trying to go with that.
I should have, yeah.
I seen where you were trying to go with that.
Because I was trying to get.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So I can switch it up and rewind it. Like, oh no, you're doomed destruction.
Exactly. Because that's what Michaela's condemning people.
I'm just saying.
But so a person. Not saying that you are that person, but the person that had that ideology, Hitler. Because if you didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, you weren't considered part of the perfect race.
That would never understand.
And you were condemned to a concentration camp.
Yeah. If you didn't fit that look, then you were condemned. It's
if
just
my tongue was too heavy.
That was the world that he created. Doesn't mean that was the actual world itself. That was something
that was
but that was a period in time.
It was a long period in time, and that was what it was. You could in his world, in that world, in that part of the country, that's what it was.
And how long did it last?
It lasted a long time.
But how long?
And a lot of lives were lost because of that.
And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. So I mean, with that being said, that exists. You know what I'm saying?
I get that, but again, it's not. It's still. Look what happened to the people.
And we can, and then if you want, we can jump a little bit forward to the future, because we were in that world for 4 years when Trump was in office. Because we were.
I mean, I don't.
So you don't remember all the protests and the killings of black people, how police shootings increased, how people weren't being held accountable, how not only strikes and protests in just United States, but there was shit going across the fucking world.
I'm gonna tell you something. Trump played on those people.
Oh hell
yeah! Let me tell you something. Trump don't give a shit about no black or white. All he see is green.
Not one bit. And I'm not gonna say too much of this because I want to jump on Chicago since we jump into politics. Is that, and this is my opinion, you other people can think what you want and say what you want to say. At the end of the day, y'all need to understand and realize, okay, when it comes to this election, you got two choices. You may not like Biden and what he's doing because he's in office, but he's better than having fucking Trump, because y'all dealt with it for 4 years. We dealt with it for 4 years. Y'all sitting saying, oh, well, I don't like this and like that. Y'all need to understand that everything doesn't happen in Washington, D.C. as far as what goes on in your city. It starts in the fucking city and state that you work in and that you live in. If you have an issue with something going with the economy and shit, this part of the country is a whole, but it starts where you live. Your Congress, the legislature in the state of Illinois or the state of Georgia, y'all voted them motherfuckers in, and if shit isn't going the way that it's not going, it's because y'all allowed it to. You can't blame everything on the president. Just like when Obama was in office, you thought because it was a black man, he's supposed to do this and do this.
Exactly.
That man didn't owe you shit. He don't owe you a fucking thing. And the things that he did make happen was on a higher federal legislative level, not a local government level. Because if governors, who are like the presidents of the state, decide to do something, the president can't make them do it. He can talk to them and then maybe try to work with Congress, which consists of the Senate and the House of Representatives, to say, hey, let's create this law that's a federal law that can't be broken by the states because it's a federal law that protects people. It's just like we had to
look
do.
at Texas.
Right, that's shit that's going on.
That motherfucker said, fuck the president, I'm blocking this border.
He did what he did.
This is my state, I'm blocking it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they had to go to the Supreme Court in order to get anything changed as they wanted, and ended up getting sided with. Later went back and they was able to start doing what they're doing again. So
They might slap a charge on him later on, prevent him from taking office again.
Absolutely. But y'all have to, just be cognizant, be aware, be smart, and you, of course, that's your right to vote who you want to vote for, but you also have to look at how people like Trump that get into office, his shit tends to trickle down through the states, because there are some very crazy people that are in political positions that are riding his coattail and that will do whatever that man tells them to do. And we just need to continue to pay attention to that and make sure that we don't allow it to happen. Yeah, some people, like I said, may not like Joe Biden. That's fine. What's the lesser of two fucking bad things? I'll go with Joe Biden. For sure. I will deal with that. I will deal with another 4 years of Joe Biden. Then put up with another 4 years of fucking Donald Trump.
I'm just waiting on him to croak so we can see what Kamala did.
You so silly. I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say that out loud. But
she's
yes.
a Harris, so.
Yeah. So we, God forbid, hope he makes it through 4 years once he's reelected. But we all know that, Kamala's going to end up being president to happen because, he's in his 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Take a nap, Sleepy Joe.
You are so... That's evil.
Not a long nap. I'm not saying like nap for the rest of life. I'm not just saying
now
somebody go tuck him in.
And tuck him in,
and just let Kamala
take a long nap.
Yeah.
It said Joe is still sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm coming to speak.
That's even if that's the real Joe.
You're so silly.
Oh
my God.
We're
not doing conspiracy theories. Oh my goodness.
With the robot malfunctioning.
I don't put nothing past nothing going on.
Well, all you motherfuckers done swallowed the blue pill and stuck in the fucking matrix now. We're all in little pods and robots and shit picking us like fucking grapes and shit, plugging us in. Telling y'all, someone's on the Nebuchadnezzar and they're going to unplug us. But no, so while we on politics, I want to jump into Chicago. All right. I'm not from here. Dante, you are.
I'm probably going to listen.
Right?
Huh?
Because I'm not from here either.
That's okay. You can definitely jump in. Okay. You're from here. And you might be able to answer some of these questions or get some input on things. So I noticed, of course, the time I've been here 6 or 7 years, Ms. Lightfoot, she's to blame for some of it too. With, like, for example, all these fucking red light cameras around the fucking city is just a way for the city to collect money. In Chicago is just lucrative. Like, movies and shows are filmed here on a daily basis. Popular TV shows, popular movies, from Batman to Transformers, fucking Chicago PD, Chicago Med, Chicago Fire. That's just to name a few.
If I can invest in the city of Chicago, I would have. Because they get money.
They get lots of fucking money. But for some reason, that money isn't reflected to the citizens of Chicago. It's not reflected to the citizens. It's not, to me, reflected in the infrastructure. It's not reflected.
Why would it?
And it should. There are some cities. There are cities that do that. Like, believe it or not, people not know St. Louis. From the city, but they take care of the city on certain acts. Especially, for example, the streets here are fucking horrible. Why are there potholes on the fucking interstate? Even though that's the state, that's for the Illinois Department of Transportation, but still, The potholes in the city of Chicago is fucking ridiculous. It's even worse on the south side.
It is.
There are neighborhoods that I've driven down the street. You would think it was brick. Mm-hmm. You know, cobblestone? And it's not. It's the actual, and it's that cheap ass asphalt because they don't use concrete, you know, for the streets. They do in the burbs. In the suburbs, they have concrete. Or they have the asphalt, but they make sure the streets are maintained.
You know, one thing, there's a lot of people who, and I'm trying to think of the proper word, but there's a lot of people who have been in the city of Chicago that have been displaced because there are a lot of families that grew up in projects of Chicago. Okay. And when they tore down a lot of the projects here, they displaced a lot of people. So the thing is that these projects were silos. Mm-hmm. And when you have a bunch of people who were raised and grew up in these silos, mm-hmm. they don't know or don't understand the power of the people. So then you get a bunch of these people living in different areas of the city, right? Mm-hmm. And it's more specifically, you got a lot of apartment buildings in the city of Chicago. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know the power of their voice. Mm-hmm. They don't know the power of rallying their neighbors. Mm-hmm. And so what you need to do is people who live in these specific areas need to be at the alderman's office.
Right, speaking up.
Exactly. And so one thing, I grew up in the Austin neighborhood here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. And my family has always been very close to our local politicians. Mm-hmm. And so anything that we needed or wanted, we knew we need to go door to door and get signatures, right, to get everybody on board. Yeah. And when people were upset about people speeding down the street, they got the speed humps in, which I fucking hate, by the way. Yeah. But I understand people with children were worried about the children, but also keep your children out of the street. Mm-hmm. But I was taught never to cross the street. I couldn't cross the street until I was like 12 or 13 years old. Damn. So, but yeah. Unless I had permission to cross, but I was not allowed to cross the street, even just to go get my ball out the street. I had to go tell an adult that my ball ran in the street. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So raise your children better. But
that was a PSA. That was a PSA.
But yeah, no, you have to go to your local alderman, especially stuff that's going on the local level within your neighborhoods. You need to go talk to your alderman. You need to be at their door, and you need to make sure that you're the most annoying constituent in that neighborhood. Right. Because if you are not, then the problems that's happening in your neighborhood is never going to be fixed. Right. And a lot of people, like I said, who were raised and grew up in these silos, mm-hmm. the projects of Chicago, mm-hmm. They don't know this stuff.
Right.
Or maybe they just don't care.
That part could be too. Because the other thing is too is like you have to understand is that once you vote these people after they get out there and speak all these lies and say what they're going to do and how they get your vote, they're not worried about you after that because they're in office. So it's like they're just focused on the constituents that either paid the money or given the money on the table to do certain things or not do certain things because it takes away from the budget for that particular area. Exactly. But in actuality, I still feel that, you know, even the mayor or the alderman shouldn't wait to hear from your constituents. You shouldn't have to wait for the neighbors. If you live in that neighborhood, I'm sure you've driven down that street.
Okay, well, check this out. Mm-hmm. If I say, Rock, I'm going to hire you for this job, mm-hmm. right? I'm going to pay you $100,000 a year. Mm-hmm. But throughout the year, I'd never come to you and ask you to do anything.
So you're saying
you're not going to come knock on my door and say, "Hey, do you got some work for me to do?"
Right, because you feel that because they're not getting paid.
Right, and then most politicians get in the office and they already have a plan or an agenda. Yeah, thank you. And they already have that agenda, right? And so that's what they work towards. And so they're not going to shift their focus to what the constituents want.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem.
Politics.
It's the script. It's the script that's followed that should be unfollowed. Because if it was me, you not gonna say shit to me. Because as a resident and a citizen of the city of Chicago, and driving around the city and seeing things, whether it be from crime to how policing's done, to how the garbage is picked up, you know what I'm saying? And the response to, like, for example, you call 611 or 311, you tell them, hey, you know, I need a new garbage can, or this can is too full, they can't pick it up. But, you know, they skipped it. And I remember one time that happened over here. I remember a month for them to come and dump a trash can that had water in it with trash. And then they finally came and got it like a month and a half later. So,
nothing to do with this.
Oh, nothing.
I was just like, why do I smell chicken?
Oh. I thought something was wrong. It didn't say something thinking about fucking food.
I said,
So silly. But I just think that even, and now the other thing is, and I didn't pull up my little handy dandy notebook, but you know, and it's nothing to the migrants. They're in this situation. It's unfortunate what they're having to deal with, but at the same time, when you talk about and you say it verbally out loud on the news that you're giving away millions and billions of dollars to migrants versus people that live in the city that have been here for years that are struggling with housing, but you're giving out fucking vouchers to people that are not from here, right?
There are a lot of people who are outraged about that. They have displaced a lot of homeless people.
Do you know there's a like a fucking secret food stamp office that you can go to as a migrant and you don't need identification? You just go and in that line, get in line basically and say, hey, yeah, I'm a displaced migrant. I need food. And they'll give it to you. You get it that same fucking day. Over $200 something dollars food. I mean, hey, I'm a working man. I'm not saying that people don't need to eat, but you what they say, you take care of home first.
Let me tell you
something. Look, and that pissed me off because even when I heard the amount of money that is being given to those that are not migrants, it's like, wait a minute, there's already issues in the city, not to mention the infrastructure, but just finding y'all are collecting y'all making people pay these fucking crazy ass parking tickets, these fucking crazy ass red light and speed cameras,
taxes,
and then you want paying for fucking bags, you know what I'm saying? But you're giving away millions of dollars to people that are not from the city or state.
I want to thank the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois, because if they didn't have high ass taxes, I never would have quit smoking cigarettes.
You are crazy.
Thank you. You know, y'all helped me quit.
You're crazy.
That's a good way to look at it.
Cause those fucking prices is $20 some dollars for a pack of cigarettes, damn near.
But that is crazy. But you know it's cheaper in Indiana.
Yeah, I wasn't driving that far for no pack of cigarettes.
You just go on the border. You go right there and like Hammond.
No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to quit anyway.
Yeah, like go to Hammond, you get just.
But if anybody out here want to quit smoking cigarettes, move to Illinois, Chicago specifically.
Yeah, it's crazy. For a pack of cigarillos,
but Mr. Brandon Johnson, I heard they're getting ready to do a recall vote to get him out.
Oh,
who's that?
Yeah, you know where they do a thing.
Well, here's the thing. Illinois, Chicago specifically, is so big on blaming their mayors for shit. I'm not taking up for this guy for one, but you have to realize that Chicago is a sanctuary city.
Right.
At the end of the day,
right.
It's a sanctuary city, and there are so many things that are already in place that it is going to take a generation of mayors. A whole generation of mayors to be able to undo what this city has already got in its foundation.
Even if it's a sanctuary city, he just did this. He just approved the money to give to these migrants when they came for the house. This just didn't happen over 2 or 3 mayor elections. He did this right after he got into office.
Well, let me tell you something. The homeless people that are in the city of Chicago,
and they're not getting checks. They're not.
No, I know, but they were never going to approve any money for them to get.
That's the point that I'm trying to make it understand. Like, why does he do, or why would the government, his administration, you already had homeless people. Because and these tents and shit, these little, now there's even more fucking tent cities popping up.
I mean, well, yeah, because migrants don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah, right. But if you still look at it, it's wrong to me. Don't let me become alderman or mayor of fucking Chicago. I'm gonna make motherfuckers head spin.
I mean, I definitely agree. Let's take care of our people that are in need, that were here already. I definitely agree with you. Mm-hmm. But if he was going to make some kind of move, because hear me out, as a politician,
felt it coming.
As a politician, at some point, they've already given these people IDs. They've given them permission to work. They've given them permission to take up land. Right? I've even heard about a judge excusing a migrant who pulled a gun on somebody. How the fuck did you get a gun?
How the fuck did he get excused?
The judge excused him, but meanwhile, in my line of work, I've seen a client who has been ordered by the court to undergo certain services. All right, I'm not trying not to say too much, but they have been ordered by the court to undergo certain services. And so when these people come to me, they're telling me their stories. You got concealed black. Mind you, these people are black. Okay, and I'm gonna say this shit because I'm outraged myself.
Right.
These people are fucking black that I'm seeing, and they concealed to carry who may have had a sip of a drink at a bar.
Right.
And he was about to be jumped. Okay, and he, fired his weapon. Something needs to change because one drink, you're not gonna be drunk off no one drink.
No, it takes more than that.
And even so, then he knew to point the gun away from the people. He was just trying to scare them so that he didn't receive any bodily harm.
Right.
That's one. A FOID card holder stood on her porch and fired her weapon because people were about to steal her car. And she was told because she left her home, and I'm like, she was on her porch. Isn't that still her property?
That's still her property, yeah.
And she's not only she's protecting her property.
Right. Even if
her car is her property.
Even if she's still in the front yard, off the porch, she's still on her property.
My thing is, even if she left the front yard, she was protecting her property because her car is her property.
Right. That's hers. Yeah.
They took her FOID card, and she's no longer allowed to own a gun at all.
Really?
But this migrant who fired his weapon at a group of black people was told by the judge that, well, if you fear for your life, you fear for your life. And they gave him a slap on the wrist and sent him about his way.
This shit is so much deeper.
Yeah.
It's so deep.
Yeah. It really is. It really
don't
is.
Understand how deep situations and stuff like that is, man. Like, it's...
I mean, that, again, that is a problem. I mean, that is why I think young, educated people with a sound mind need to become more involved in politics, because it's not even to where you have to be like other politicians, because sometimes that is the problem. It's the fact that you have a politician running for office versus an individual that doesn't have that thought and mindset. Because even when people didn't think I was serious back in 2020, when I did run for president, I didn't have that mindset. I didn't think like every other politician. It's just like my thinking on things is not going to be a thing where people give me things. Oh, we want you. I don't want your fucking money. Because if I'm getting office, I'm gonna do it on my own and with the help of my friends, supporters, family, people that believe in the agenda, which is the agenda for the people. Because you wouldn't know what a struggle is if you never struggled. A lot of these politicians get involved things never dealt with homelessness. They never dealt with struggle or being on food stamps. They never dealt with anything or being abused or going through any type of sexual assault like that. They don't know what it is to be us and go through what we've gone through.
D. Santino just said, and thank you, because this is what I was moving towards, D. Santino, is that they're going to be at some point, in which is going to piss off a lot of people,
that they're allowed to vote.
They're going to give them the right to vote.
Yeah.
And D. Santino,
which is why they're giving them IDs.
Exactly.
And all you need is an ID.
Exactly. And he just said migrants are here to remove our votes and to surpass us in numbers. And that's exactly what I was getting towards.
A great observation.
They're going to give them the right to vote, and they're going to fuck up the whole system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one, they don't even understand American politics.
They don't understand the politics or how it works.
Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I said they accept anything.
Well, man, if a person tell you like, oh no, check this, vote for Trump, and then boom.
Exactly. Trump's gonna give you money.
Right. Yeah.
They don't know. Trump he gonna
try to get your ass.
He's gonna try to get your ass.
He get out the country. But he said that. He said that day one he was going to do a mass deportation.
But you know what's crazy? Because so this was before the migrants, the Venezuelans and the Colombians and stuff started coming to America.
I've seen that movie. That was a good movie. Coming to America.
He was trying to attack the Mexicans.
Yeah.
But now that the Venezuelans is here, y'all let Trump ass back in office. He's definitely getting rid of all y'all ass.
Yeah, he's definitely shipped out. The song said it really started with Biden allowing 100,000 Ukraine here while they block Haitians. I mean, America itself, right, is the land of the free. Home of the brave, right? But we have always been that country where people can come in freely, to an extent, right? We knew what was going on in Ukraine, all right, and then I don't know the full story as far as with the Haitians, but people were still coming here illegally. I mean, there are laws where they're supposed to, but then again, Mexico is like right there in Texas. It's right there next to it. So people are always going to be crossing to the border with that. I'm not blaming anybody because Trump did it, and a lot of shit that he did, they ignored it. You know what I'm saying? Each president has their guilt when it comes to migrants coming into the country, or illegal immigrants coming into the country. Each president, each administration has their own. They
have this clause baked into American law. A person can come to America. They're not really considered illegal. Yes, seeking asylum.
Seeking asylum. Yeah, and the majority of them that were seeking it. But the problem that we also have too is the process of becoming or getting asylum. You know what I'm saying? Have them at the border, or they're in like these detention, basically like fucking detention camps, waiting to be processed and stuff like that. It's going to be an ongoing problem. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but with this migrant situation where you have these Republican governors bouncing and shipping people to sanctuary cities, and then we're having to deal with them.
Exactly. I think that if first of all, if they can come to America seeking asylum, then every goddamn state in America need to be a sanctuary state.
Sanctuary state, yeah.
Instead of shipping them to one specific area, exactly, right. And then it gets overcrowded, and it's ridiculous. Then we have to deal not just with first of all, I'm going to speak on it, and I'm going to say it, and I don't fuck it. There's been a lot of shit that I haven't heard about since I was a youth. Certain diseases and sicknesses happening.
What if that's a tactic, though? What if that's intentional? What if they're doing that just because they want certain places and certain areas to fall short from this or deal with that?
I mean, given it will bring more resources to the area that they're at, because you have to treat these people
right. So and the federal government will step in,
right? So more funding. So it might be a ploy.
Right.
It might be.
I just think that a lot of how things is normally set up and how things normally go, I feel like they be knowing why they do the things that they do the way that they do. That's just my observation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think, unless we're in those shoes, let's say, for example, if we're in part of like Congress and we kind of have the access to a lot of the information to be able to see, which is another reason why I push, it's important for people to get, I know people hate politics, but sometimes you got to get your hands dirty to be able to understand like what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So,
how many times they didn't lie to us about shit?
Well, we're not going to get into conspiracy theories.
I'm not even just talking about. I'm just saying lying in general. Like, y'all.
It's for your safety to keep you alive.
Yeah. Trust me. It's for your. Trust me. It's for the best. Trust me. It's for the best.
Oh man.
It's for the best. But there are a lot of things I think that we're manipulated into, and sometimes we don't pay attention to it, and it happens, and we fall for it, and then we see, and we.
Yeah, it's to keep the masses at bay. You're distracted looking at Diddy get arrested for fucking somebody. Who
but even then, if you watch that and you see that and you're watching the news, then you need to stay tuned in when they do start talking about the political shit. You're drawn in by what Diddy did.
The news is never going to report the real shit that's really happening behind the scenes.
Well, it depends on what you watch. I mean,
I'm just saying.
I think a lot of, and everybody has their own choice of like what news outlet source that they go to. Myself, I'm a personal big fan of CNN. Been watching for years. Never let me astray, because they go out the people, even their own network. They put them out on blast. Well, CNN is suing such and such, and I mean.
And when they're focused on those people, there's some much larger shit happening.
There's a lot of things that are happening, and I just, again, my thing is, Chicago needs to get this shit together, not the people. I'm talking about the politicians, and fix it.
The people
too, but it starts with the people.
Yeah,
because they voted for these motherfuckers.
Exactly. And they forget.
They voted for these motherfuckers. We're like, you could, I didn't vote for him. I was actually still at the point of the resident of another state, but I would not have voted for Brandon Johnson.
have no idea who that is. What's his title?
He's the mayor of Chicago.
Okay.
What?
So-
What were you gonna say?
So okay.
I'm a resident officially now, but
Well, it ain't all on me, but I'll admit to it. I did vote for him, and my reasoning,
I knew it was something.
First of all, I didn't know too much about him except for that he worked for.
He was a school
commissioner. No, he was a commissioner, or some commissioner. But so I would have voted for that younger guy, Jamal Green. The reason why I did not is because I felt he was too young and too much of a political outsider to really make true change. And then he was real young, and so
let's see.
I wanted a younger.
True change. Brandon Johnson. Brandon. Oh, Punky's got a dog named Brandon.
But you have to realize it. Usually for someone, especially a person of color, and then they're young and they're a political outsider, they don't have too many political connections to really make change.
But see, sometimes that's bad. That's not always good. It's not always good to me. It's not always good to have political connections.
But this is the thing, though. He wasn't going to be able to get anything done because it was always going to be stopped by someone else who would have felt that he was too young or too inexperienced, and so it would have got stopped. A lot of people, the mayor, the governor, the president, they are all pawns in a much larger game.
Yeah, yeah. B613's out there. You watch Scandal, right? But there is a B613. Now that's a conspiracy theory. I don't know that there is, but there probably is. I would be surprised.
Hey.
Ran by a black man.
Apparently, supposedly. Well,
I mean, but I think the flip side to that is that to me that's part of the problem because you're tied to other people that you feel obligated that you have to do certain things.
No, but also if you really want to get something done, then you can go and tap this person. Hey, Jeff, how you doing? I know you sit in the House of Representatives. You know, we go way back. Yeah, remember I went to college with your cousin?
I'll be like, Jeff, look, I don't give a fuck about the X shit, bro. We need the fucking streets fixed. I need y'all to get the fucking
But
funds.
that's politics, though.
You need to talk to him like you're Negro. Ain't got time for all this chit chat and kissing ass. Like, I'm not finna talk to you, nigga. Get your ass in the fucking start voting this shit. You gotta be black with them.
And they'll be like, sir, how did you get in here?
Don't worry about it. They voted for me, nigga. Now what?
Oh, he's the mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, with the jersey and Nikes on. What?
Tell him I have an opening in 12 weeks.
You want to keep your job? What did you say, nigga?
And that's why they was after the guy from Detroit. What's his name? You wanna talk business or some other shit?
I like him. I like him. Though.
I liked him too.
I liked him.
But they was after that man's head. They said, "Oh, he is."
He said he spoke what was on his mind. He was not like it's funny. But I don't know. I see so much money that comes into the city. And I just think that they could do better. The politicians, the mayor, you can do better. You can do better by the citizens. You know, instead of all these extra things you're trying to figure. Because at one point they were supposed to take down a lot of those traffic cams, like the red light cameras and the speed cameras.
When Lori Lightfoot was in office,
right,
they was talking about it.
Right, but they didn't do it.
Got rid of her ass.
Yeah, and
they
then
said this bitch finna fuck with our money.
Yeah,
we got to let her go.
See what happened? That's what happened.
They said Auntie Lori gotta go.
What's her name? Auntie who?
Auntie Lori. That's what I call her. Auntie Lori.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They go, yeah, this big pantsuit when
You're so. Oh,
she down with the stone. She gotta go.
I cannot
Send her back to the south side where she belongs.
I mean, I love Chicago, and I think that when the complaints I have is I think every person that lives in Chicago has the same complaints, especially when you drive a car in this motherfucker.
Oh, I got a long list. A long list.
Do you have any repairs that you need the city to take care of?
I need them to get rid of these tickets first. What the? I can park my car for 2 minutes to run inside of a place
Before
to
you
take
get a
care of
ticket.
some business, and they will ticket you.
Yeah,
It's a scam.
It is. The city of Chicago is nothing
because they'll
but
be
a
waiting.
corporation.
There'll be somebody waiting on the side.
They be seeing everything.
Because I had somebody told me she was like, first of all, mind you, I had pulled behind a police cruiser and the cop got out the car, And I was like, I need to move because somebody was just running the Starbucks. He said, no, you're good. You're fine. Police officer said this. And the motherfucking meter maid come by, and this bitch ain't shit to do. She's just like, oh, you got to move. I said, the cop just told me I'm good. The cop. The certified peace officer. Not an employed citizen.
Let me tell y'all something. Which is about to fucking blow people's fucking minds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it goes back to what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Chicago is nothing but a corporation.
America is a corporation.
You're right.
Umbrella is a corporation.
We're all.
Gosh.
The city of Chicago sold its public parking to a private corporation.
Really?
Yes, the public
parking for street parking
is no longer controlled by the city of Chicago.
Get out.
It is controlled by Laz LAZ, who used to just own parking garages in the downtown area of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They now control, for a period of time, they own public parking.
Wow.
Anywhere in the city where those green parking signs are.
So exactly.
Really?
That's why if the police tell you can park,
because
you're still going to get a ticket.
You're still going to get a ticket, yeah. Because I definitely got a ticket in the mail afterwards. Bitch waited till I drove off and got the fucking license plate. I was like, oh, this bitch.
Yeah, the city doesn't do that anymore.
That is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is something that I did not know.
So basically, your money's going somewhere.
Not going to the city.
Well,
the city's getting a cut. Probably because it goes to the contract, right? They have a contract with the company.
Yeah, so the company already paid the city. Exactly. So that money is going to, if the city is taking the money, that money is going back to Laz. Or LAZ, I don't know how you...
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Fucking shenanigans, I tell you. Well, yeah, I'm still here, though. I just watch where I park, Yeah, and I make sure I keep that app, loaded. If I got to refresh it and pay the fucking fee for how long. You ever notice when you park a certain place, it'll have one of those green, then it'll be a red sign underneath. Mm-hmm. You can park it, but you pay, but then you can't park here actually really between certain times.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, because I didn't get a ticket right there, but like I parked what it said I could park.
And that's also why, you used to be able to park downtown on a Sunday all day for free.
All for free, yeah.
You can no longer do that.
Since when?
They changed it.
When?
The private corporation.
Since when? Because I parked recently on a Sunday, and it wouldn't let me pay anything to the app.
Well, they must have had no employees there.
Well, no, it wasn't downtown.
Oh, okay.
So that's probably for downtown where you can't park free on a Sunday.
And then our the toll roads.
Yeah.
Toll roads is owned by a Chinese company.
Well, that would explain, because I remember calling iPass because I was like, my sticker, when I go on the Chicago Skyway, it doesn't work at the toll, but it works on the other tolls along the Illinois Skyway. And she said that's not owned by the Illinois toll road. That's owned by Chicago, whatever toll company they go through, but it's supposed to work on all of the iPasses. It should still work. So she was like, you just need to call and tell them like, hey, why is this not registering when I go through? Why is that fucking arm not going up? You know what I'm saying? When you got money on the fucking thing. So I'm like, wait a minute, that's not part of this? She said, nope, that's not us.
That's
I'm like,
what I said.
are you
So
fucking...
getting your money back?
For what?
I thought you said it's not going to...
No. So what happens is when you pull up to the gate and you have the sticker or the thing, it's supposed to go up. It doesn't. So you have to use a card or pay with cash.
Right.
So it's just like, but when you go further down the highway, the other ones that's not manned, they go up with no problem. The arms go up. So she was just saying that the rest of the initial, what is that thing called?
The transponder.
Yeah, no, the main, when you when you first get on the toll, the main one, the big one, the Chicago Sky, it's the Skyway.
Yeah,
the Skyway. So you go to that one, it does not recognize the iPads.
Oh, wow.
It's
That's
sometimes.
weird. Okay, because I have that's probably because of the sticker, because I know they switched the sticker.
Yeah, I have a sticker now.
I still have the transponder, and so it worked with my transponder. My issue was when I was in Indiana on a toll road, it would not read it, which is supposed to usually works wherever I go.
Wherever you go, yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason now,
sticker?
No, I have the transponder.
See, my sticker worked, but because I deactivated and I switched my card to the sticker, because you can't have it on two accounts or two transponders.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because because it said it was inactive, so I switched it from the physical one to the sticker. I'm like, well, I got the sticker. Let me go ahead and work it, but it didn't do anything. So I'm like, what the fuck? And then they increased the prices.
Oh yeah, when you don't use the sticker or the transponder, yeah, if you pay by card or cash, it's double.
Yeah, they get not only that, but not only that, they increase the price of the toll with using the transponder on the toll road. Yeah, I was like, anything to fucking get something out of it.
Oh yeah, everybody wants some money out.
Bitches.
They don't want to take care of you. They don't want to make sure you. Now, one thing I will say about the toll roads I ain't never hit no potholes.
Oh, they ain't no potholes. But that's the Illinois Department of Transportation in Indiana. That's crazy because the state's going to most of the time take care of the highways or the interstates. And you're right, no potholes. And you always see them out there working, smoothing shit out, shit like that.
Right.
But
they might cut you down to 1 or 2 lanes.
Right. I'm cool with that. Why you smoothing shit over, but you get off that fucking ramp.
It's a wrap.
You can you could hang it up. Well,
you know what's crazy? I drove through Gary, Indiana, which is
that's horrible.
I didn't run into no potholes.
Well, what part of Gary?
I guess it was a nice side.
I went to Gary just the other night, and I
seen a bunch of rundown buildings.
Well, yeah. Streets are nice, though.
I didn't hit no potholes.
The buildings are fucked up.
They may not take care of their infrastructure, but the streets are good.
Wonderful. Oh my God. Hey, what's up, October 15th? Sorry you missed the lay-in. Well, now it's time to say goodbye to all my Negro friends. No.
Ghetto Mr. Rogers.
I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in to the episode today. Big thanks and shout out to Mr. Dante Harris. As always, he's like our engineer. He makes sure that we sound good, although we already sound good, period. But he puts a little extra touch on it.
In the words of Roland Ray. Purr.
I knew it was something coming after that. Another big shout out and thanks to Mr. Mikael Race for joining us as a special guest co-host. Thank you. Oh, by the way, today is Saturday. And as you know, every Saturday we do our little special update on roxboys.com. And today's update, Mikael Race has returned to the scene. His official first video for Rox Boys is now live on roxboys.com. So make sure you check it out. You can also follow him on X, nothing but Mikael.
You said it right.
It's the ghetto way. N-O.
There's no G in nothing.
There's no G in nothing. NOTHINBUTMIKEAL. I gave him that name, by the way. So make sure you check it and follow. You can also see it on the Rox Boys X page, ROCKSBOYSXXX. Or just go to the site, roxboys.com. You can check it out there. And we put some new stuff up every Saturday. We got the Throwback Thursdays going on every Thursday on the site. So make sure you check that out. I appreciate everybody tuning in, watching us on Instagram Live. And you can always go back and listen to our wonderful podcast episode today and all the ones prior to that on your favorite podcast platform. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you cannot see us, we are giving you the deuces. Peace.